You are watching Camnet TV, not just another channel, and welcome to our news. To present it, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. The headlines. ACC suspends its officer for testifying in favor of Health Minister in court. PFSG says all districts that insult President Edgar Lungu will never see development. Lusaka's Kalikiliki residents vent their anger on their elected leaders. And in international news, several killed in an attack at Somali military base. And in sports news, Curtius Chota Chama is Tanzania Premier League Player of the Season. For the details, do join me shortly after this break.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
The details. The Anti-Corruption Commission has suspended its investigation officer, Chipampe Manda, for testifying that Minister of Health, Chitalu Chilufya, who is in court, never stole public funds. While in court this week and testifying on behalf of the state, the ACC officers said Dr. Chilufya never did any criminal thing. But the commission, through its public relations officer, Timothy Mono, says the position taken by the officer does not represent ACC but his personal interests. Mr. Manda told the court that Dr. Chitalu Chilufya's earnings since February 2013 did not constitute any criminal elements. We have more in this report.
Following concerns from members of the general public on the Anti-Corruption Commission SCC's investigation officer who shocked Magistrate Lamek Mwale when he testified in court, Minister of Health Dr. Chitalu Chilufya did not commit any crime as his earnings are above the corruption allegations, leaving Zambian citizens wondering why then the Minister of Health was taken to court in the first place and charged with 4 counts of possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime. Transparent International Zambia also wondered what might have led to the investigation officer of the Anti-Corruption Commission changing his statement.
I think what transpired in court yesterday with regard to the testimony of the investigation officer at the Anti-Corruption Commission is something that equally perplexed us. I think a lot of stakeholders have expressed surprise and concern at the turn of events.
Now, the Anti-Corruption Commission SEC has announced that it has suspended its officer who told the courts of law Dr. Chitalu Chilufya did not do anything criminal. In a phone call interview with Camnet TV, the Anti-Corruption Commission Public Relations Officer Timothy Mono says the position taken by the investigative officer is not representing the body but his personal interests. Therefore, for now, he has been suspended.
No, I can only confirm that, yes, that is our memo, and the officer was suspended.
On what grounds?
He was suspended on account that the position he gave in the court was contrary to the position of the commission. The evidence that he gave in court was not the same as what the commission's position is.
Okay.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, is appearing in court on accusations he acquired properties suspected to be proceeds of crime. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Governance Elections Advocacy Research Services GEARS Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi has described the recent distribution of relief food in Lukasha constituency, where by-election is looming, as political blackmail. Mr. Chipenzi wonders why government is always seen to actively take development and food to places where by-elections are expected. In this regard, Mr. Chipenzi is surprised to note that government has just realized that the people of Lukasha constituency in Kasama district need food now at a time when they will be going to the polls anytime soon, following the demise of their Member of Parliament Mwenyamulonge. Mr. Chipenzi comments comes in the wake of a directive given by the Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Olipa Piri, to the Kasama District Disaster Management Committee to urgently distribute relief food to the suffering residents of Lukasha.
Governance Elections Advocacy Research Services GEARS Initiative Executive Director McDonald Chipenzi says the recent directive by the Minister in the Office of the Vice President, Olipa Piri, to Kasama District Disaster Management Committee to urgently distribute relief food in the district which houses the vacant Lukasha parliamentary seat is pure electoral blackmail and a campaign gimmick. Mr. Chipenzi, through a phone call interview with Camnet TV, says it is stressing to note how she is now seeing a hunger emergency in Kasama, leading to her 7-day period ultimatum to the district commissioner to complete the distribution of relief food to affected areas and not keeping the food in the warehouse. Mr. Chipenzi says her sudden visit to Kasama relief food warehouse and not other areas equally affected by hunger situation like Luapula and Gwembe Valleys, Western Province and Malambo constituency with similar complaints is an indication that she is engaging in electoral malpractice and politics and not relief food distribution to save the hungry people.
The directives by the minister in the vice president's office to urgently distribute relief food in Kasama is a clear indictment of electoral blackmail and indeed politics ahead of the vacant parliamentary seat by election in Lukasha. The handing over or indeed donation of COVID-19 assorted materials to Masabombwe by the Secretary General of the ruling party is also another incident in place. We expect that at this point in time, the Commission should have already established itself in these areas to nip out electoral malpractices before they germinate roots.
Mr. Chipenzi noted that it is sad to see DMMU and district commissioners being embedded and fused in promoting electoral blackmail and corruption through relief food distribution in by-election areas without recourse. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Health Minister Chitalu Chilufya has blamed the general public for the rise in COVID-19 cases. Dr. Chilufya explains that people have stopped wearing face masks and observing other health guidelines, hence the rise. We have more in this report.
Minister of Health Dr. Chitalu Chilufya says if Zambians are committed to wearing masks for the next 2 to 3 months, Zambia would be bidding farewell to COVID-19. The minister says the reluctancy in the following of preventive measures by citizens has led to high numbers of COVID-19 patients and BIDs. He says the weather is windy, which contributes to the further spreading of the coronavirus. During the COVID-19 update held in Lusaka on the 8th of July, the minister says every Zambian is at risk of contracting the virus.
In the community to prevent COVID-19, countrymen and women, if we all committed to wearing masks, mandatory wearing of masks for the next 2 to 3 months, we will be bidding farewell to COVID-19. Countrymen and women, we are at a time when the weather is adverse, it's windy, it's cold, and this just predisposes all of us to COVID-19. It is a call to action to all of us that the fight is for us at individual level, at community level. We have been executing a multi-sectoral plan, and we want to appreciate all the partners and stakeholders that have been participating, but yet make a strong call to action for escalated multi-sectoral action to stop the spread of COVID-19. The measures are known: put on a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance, avoid gatherings. The call to action is compliance. By reservation of owners of public places or various vessels, let us not permit anyone without a mask to be in our jurisdictions. This will protect everyone from COVID-19.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 460 new cases of COVID-19 out of 1,003 tests done, bringing the cumulative number of COVID-19 cases to 7,903, including 203 deaths and 6,401 recoveries. The minister called upon owners of public places not to allow anyone without a mask in their premises to reduce the further spreading of the deadly coronavirus. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
And moving on in other news, ruling Patriotic Front PF Secretary General Davis Mwila has ordered that all party officials living outside Lumfwanyama be removed from their positions. Mr. Mwila says Lumfwanyama cannot develop with absent leaders. Meanwhile, Mr. Mwila says Lumfwanyama will only begin to see development if the people of the area begin to work with government. He says development can only be achieved if the district is filled with PF representatives at all levels. And Mr. Mwila says no single district in Zambia whose leaders are bent on insulting President Edgar Lungu will ever see development. According to him, the party will not waste resources on developing such areas where people are bent on reducing the PF leadership. Mr. Mwila is on a tour of party structures in Lumfwanyama district on the Copper Belt.
Opposition from the time Basataba Pangire Party in 2001 that to quarter member of parliament and we expect a change next year. For you to continue in the leadership, you have to show us that you can work and give us an MP, the MP and all councillors. Turesango kwebati ba chairman ba kuno kulufanyama bekala kukarurushi. Those people must be removed. Those people cannot, actually they don't even qualify to stand because they don't stay here in Lufwanyama. Lufwanyama, you are paying the price because you want to continue with the position. You have no representative. Tamukwata wako mirandira ko. Namukwata opportunity, namukwata kashita. Aka. Natukwata ma by-election 5. Prove to us that you want to work with the government of the day. Tulangeni atina muitanya ukubomba no buteko buli. Fyonse fikanguka. Kale twaliwombere karurushi twasafika pali bashimu kuna musaba wayimini muriya musala ba opposition and you expect a road takwaba umwana mungandanga alesa alelomba le kutuka tekyumpe umwana alesa dana kibila nomba baletukana Edgarungu and they expect that a road will come. No. You need to have your own member of parliament. Uenu. Bantu apamaba. Bana banshiwa. Tamuko toko akuya nituseko muye.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay tuned as we have more interesting stories lined up for you.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not pure glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. As the 2021 general elections fever slowly grips the country, voters are slowly gaining authority over their elected electoral leaders. Lusaka's Kalikiliki residents are such voters who have accused their elected leaders of failing to represent them adequately in terms of development. They have since vowed to vote out all non-performing leaders in 2021. We have more in this report.
We want to order. We want to order. We want to order. We want to know. We want to clinic. We want a school for children. Please, 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 please.
Kalikiliki residents say they feel neglected and alone as none of their leaders, starting from the area councillor Watson Mtonga to their area member of parliament Professor Nkanduluo, whom they say they last saw in 2016 when she was persuading them to vote for her. Kalikiliki residents say their leaders have abandoned them as they proceed to tell Camnet TV of all the problems they are facing in their area.
Muno mwatu makalikiliti vantu almost mamilioni but sitita pamanzi mokwanira. So icho cheve tifuna kuti vakanse vabwere pa open. Vakanse na vabwere pa open, especially vakanse atinavaona kapena papita na 5 years mane tinavotera vakanse sitivaona kuno kwa Kalikiliki. Kuno kwa Kalikiliki kunkhala ngati tili kushangombo. Tilibe manzi, tilibe marodi, tilibe muntu amene atiyanganira. So isa maskulu kuno kulibe, kliniki kulibe, munuza ti mutachoka kuno na mimba ende kumtendere. Na coronavirus yabwera tizakhala moyo. Aya manzi yachoka pansi, siyachoka kutapu kulikonse. Kuma plot ndiye kuli chinji cha chipompa manzi pansi. So chikapompa manzi pansi, chiembekeza malitazi yakwane, yakakwana malitazi manyi pa namba kutipasa. Nikutapa mgomo umozi. Munyumba mulimo fomu atapa mgomo umozi. You can manage kumwa na kusamba na kupikira.
And see the roads are impassable, we cannot even pass through. Dustbins, there's no vehicle to collect the refuge. So let the government at least do something. We haven't even seen the councillor of this place. Nobody. So Kalikiliki people have been neglected. Please, please, they must assist us.
Now, Kalikiliki compound is a very densely populated area, and the lack of water for household use might lead to many diseases, including the deadly cholera, as we approach hot season. They narrate this is not the first time they have tried to engage their leaders who seem to be paying a deaf ear. We shall vote them out, they say.
I think the problem that we are facing in this compound is that since 1964, when we started voting, we voted for UNIP, we voted for MMD, now it is PF. They have done literally nothing here. And we don't have any government infrastructure in this compound. And then in terms of water, we are facing huge problem. Last time when Tonga came here, that was in 2016, when he was campaigning, he promised us to say that he's going to improve this compound together with the MP. But to say the truth, they have failed us here in this compound. Because of that, we are not happy. Yes. Mtonga is our councillor. His first name is Watson Mtonga. And we voted for him in 2016 together with the councillor. But to say the truth, they have done nothing in this.
Now, Munali Constituency Member of Parliament, Professor Nkanduluo, who is in charge of making sure these people are comfortable, says she cannot give a comment because she is not in Lusaka. Professor Luo, during a phone call interview with Camnet TV, says she will only be able to give a comment when she is back in Lusaka next week, as she is apparently touring Muchinga province.
I'm in the field, I'm in the bush in Chimba.
Yes, Honorable, I just wanted a quick reaction regarding...
I can't react to anything. I'm in the bush. I'm not even in the office. How do I react to things when I'm not in the office?
It's regarding your constituency.
Yeah, even if it's my constituency, I'm in Muchinga right now.
It is sad that the leaders who are selected by the people tend to forget who put them in power to better their lives. Constance Mwemba reporting for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, has closed 4 liquor stores and 3 restaurants that were found operating as bars in the last 24 hours. LCC Public Relations Officer Lupikisha Emmanuel says the authority will not relax in enforcing measures that will help the city fight the coronavirus. The affected businesses include Sun City Pub and Grill in Matero, Diva's Paradise in Zingalume, M Liquor Store in Garden House area, and Patrol's Pub and Grill in Kanyama. The council says the owners of the closed businesses have been given up to Monday, the 10th of August 2020, to show cause why their licenses should not be suspended.
City Council Public Health Inspectors, together with Zambia police officers, yesterday night carried out a routine operation to check on compliance levels of various business establishments across Lusaka. During the operations, 4 liquor stores and 3 restaurants were found to be operating as bars, contrary to the public health guidelines. However, the premises were closed and the patrons were dispersed. The owners of these businesses have, however, been asked to exculpate themselves on Monday and show cause why their permits should not be suspended. Among those that were closed yesterday night include the MS Lake and Garden House, Diva's Paradise in Galume, Patron's Pub in Kanyama, and Sun City Pub in Matero. Nonetheless, as the local authority, we have observed that there is an increase in the number of liquor stores and restaurants that have started to operate as bars, and this will not take lightly, and as council we shall not relax on enforcing the law to the latter. If it goes to the west, drastic measures shall be applied to those establishments that will continue to operate outside the set guidelines, including those that have already been warned and still have continued to operate as bars. However, yesterday's inspection as well also captured lodges. 3 lodges in particular were visited, and both of them they will show of compliance during inspection time. However, the coming of inspection of lodges comes from the work of reports of many residents of Lusaka that have expressed that a number of lodges have turned their lodges into nightclubs. As council also, we are following up, and the lodges also will be monitored.
Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister Jonas Chanda has urged the Zambia Environmental Management Agency, ZEMA, to expedite the process of formulating new regulations on the control of emissions from mobile sources. The minister says it is important to speed up the process to be undertaken in collaboration with the Road Transport and Safety Agency, RATSA. He has explained that the new regulations will protect people from hydrocarbons, which he said are dangerous to health. Dr. Chanda says economic activity should not come at the expense of protecting the environment. The Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection Minister said this when he held a meeting with ZEMA management in Lusaka.
The mandate of ZEMA, drawn from the Environmental Management Act number 12 of 2011 is very, very clear. I think when you read Article 9, Section 1 of the Act, sustainable management of natural resources. It means all the natural resources have to be managed sustainably. It's not just pande or everyone doing whatever they want to do. So whether you're a developer, an industrialist, you're manufacturing, whatever you're doing, the first question is that are the natural resources being managed in a sustainable manner? 2, protection of the environment. Development should not come at the expense of protection of the environment. If you destroy the environment after your industrialization, your mining activities, and so on. In my constituency, if you come to Bwanamkuba, we had Copperbelt's first mine actually opened I think in the 1920s. That was Bwanamkuba copper mine in Ndola, right in the constituency. The mine is long closed, the copper is gone, there's a huge ditch which remained, the soil around that place is polluted. People actually, I've had cases there where people dig, they do drilling of boreholes, but the soil, the water, underground water is contaminated. In fact, the case there where people were sick with rashes, diarrhea, vomiting, was the mining companies, when they were there, they never followed all these regulations. They got the copper, they employed people, but they destroyed the environment. So even up to now, that whole area, they're always throwing limestone because it's acidic, So that's why we're saying that economic activities should not come at the expense of the environment. You destroy the environment, you pollute the environment, in the name of development. That one should not be allowed. And I think ZEMA, the law is on your side to ensure that that doesn't happen. We appreciate that Zambia's economy, short of the COVID situation that we have had and the recent fiscal challenges, we've been growing at 5%, like you alluded to, Director General.
We now take a short break. Do stay tuned as we have international and sports news.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant Save Nations to Develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown. And we are proud to be one of those.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, an attack on a military base in Somali capital, Mogadishu, has killed at least 8 people and injured 14 others, officials say. A suicide bomber driving a car targeted the gates of the base of Mogadishu Stadium, military officials said. The extremely loud explosion was heard across the city. Islamic militant group Al-Shabaab said it was behind the attack. It often carries out bombings targeting security forces and officials. Ahmed Muse told Associated Press that the explosion took place at the gates of the 12th April Army Brigade base close to the recently opened sports stadium in Watan, Abada district. The stadium opened in June and was seen as a symbol of the country rebuilding after years of conflict. Halima, a mother of 3 who lives near the area, told Reuters news agency that soldiers opened fire after the explosion.
Gone. This is CCTV footage of the explosion. It was an Al-Shabaab attack on the Medina Hotel as people were taking afternoon tea. A suicide bomber rammed a car containing explosives into the hotel gates. Moments after these pictures were captured, 3 Al-Shabaab gunmen stormed the hotel compound and the slaughter starts. Ahmed, our cameraman, sped towards the sounds of shooting and grenade attacks with his driver and our army guard.
عليه محمد انت نظام نجاوب كسونا ودو كل ساعه مش حبتك دعيسه قالي كلا جيره كلا جيره صاحب بخاري كلا جيره انا ما بخاري ما يدبوا ناخذ بخاري بس الرقف للباك
The battle between the Al-Shabaab gunmen and government forces lasted 12 hours. It ended with 26 dead and 56 injured. 3 attackers died. 1 was captured alive.
And was on Friday crowned as the best player of the just ended 2019-2020 Tanzanian Vodacom Premier League. At the awards gala ceremony held last evening at the Malani City Conference Center. In the Player of the Season award, he triumphed over Bakari Magneto of Coastal Union and Nicholas Wadada of Azam FC, while in the Midfielder of the Year accolade, he triumphed over Lucas Kikoti of Namungo FC and Balama of Yanga. Chama also made it to the Team of the Season. Other winners are from Simba include Kagere as the top goal scorer, Ashima Manula as the best goalkeeper, and Seven Vandenbreck as coach of the year. That sports item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a look at the headlines once again. ACC suspends its officer for testifying in favor of Health Minister in court. PFSG says all districts that insult President Edgar Lungu will never see development. Lusaka's Kalikiliki residents vent their anger on their elected leaders. And in international news, several killed in an attack at Somali military base. And in sports news, Cletus Chota Chama is Tanzania Premier League Player of the Year. But before we go, we look at the verse of the day, which is coming from the book of Psalms 37, verse 39, and it reads, "But the salvation of the righteous is from the Lord. He is their strength in time of trouble." Thank you so much for staying with us for the news. I have been your anchor, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. God bless.